The format I don't have, but I as it evolved into this. It evolved into having a conversation and then having that history of the unheard of history. I like delving on that one. Unheard history of the Igorot nation, as I call it, or Igorot people. And when you say unheard of, it is not discussed in our textbooks, like the ones wherein Igorots were really not conquered by the Spanish for 300 years. They had a hard time conquering the Cordillera region. Um, the the reason of the headhunting, things like that, and the unheard of um, history of the Igorot with the neighboring people in the lowlands. Like we didn't know, but during the pre-Hispanic era or during a pre-Hispanic time, the Igorots or the people from the mountain and the people from the lowlands know each other. They trade, they intermarry, and they understand each other's language. The separation, because we have what we're calling regionalism right now, wherein people in the highlands are barbaric as viewed by the people in the lowlands, and the people in the lowlands are like this and like that as viewed by the people in the highlands. Regionalism. And a long time ago, they don't have that. Uh, when the Spaniards tried to Christianize the Filipinos in the lowlands, those people in the lowlands that did not like the idea of Christianism or Christianity went up to the highlands, and they were warmly welcomed by the highlands, by the highlanders, and they stayed in the highlands. So that was the history of the relationship between the Igorots and the people in the lowlands. Now, of course, the sources that I have was written by William Henry Scott. I have those ones. I also talked about the um the houses of the Igorot people back then, wherein there are some accounts of a house made of stone that is so big it can fit like 30 people. That 30 people can stay inside, something like that. There's and then it became it. I mean, it evolved. I mean, it devolved into this little house that we know today. And maybe the reason back then was because the eagles are continuously, or the village of the eagles are continuously being attacked by the Spaniards. That's why the architecture or the ways of people, the way on how people build their house devolve into something like that, wherein they can easily get away. I mean, they can easily build it and then they can easily leave it if something happened. And I think that is a sound theory if you're going to ask me. And I talked about that in my podcast also. I also talked about um anything about the COVID-19 back then, the announcement, and also the uh, current events, current events. But the thing about current events is I cannot how can I say this? I cannot give an opinion unfiltered. I cannot give an unfiltered or a frank opinion on something. Uh, in short, I am self-censoring my. I am self-censoring. Yeah, for the reason that the nature of my job, we are being viewed as um molders of minds, teachers, molders of minds, um bearer of morality at times. uh it's not even we're not even allowed to curse, right? Because yeah, and I'm not even allowed. I am censoring myself not to curse. I curse sometimes, but I'm not even allowed to curse in my podcast because I know that some of my students are watching this.